thought I'd just a 10-minute break from my legs. It's been actually really tough digging. I've been on it for nearly 2 hours, so I thought I'd have a look into this mound. So we've got an out toe, first toe, second toe. So I reckon there's a toe in here and one on the outside over there. So I'm going to have a quick dig in here, because it's a little bit easier, I think, I hope. And hopefully I should find something to confirm my theory. I've got a lot of loose dirt on the top here, so whatever it is, I would say is quite deep in this one. So yeah, I'll be about the same level about where I am. So yeah, I had a dip into the old hidden history community over this past week or so, as I sort of dived out of it about 7-8 months ago. I won't go into reasons, but some people in it ain't really who they seem to be. But I have noticed the amount of infighting going on at the moment is shocking. It's just people just can't agree on anything. I kind of work on the basis of everybody might have a little bit right. We don't know. You work together and you try and paint, find the picture that's hidden underneath. It's much like this. You just keep digging and keep digging and keep digging. And as you go, your ideas change, because you can't be right. Well, you might be right first off, but chances are you're probably not. And that's one thing I've learnt about a lot of this stuff over the years is, oh, here we go. Here we go. Right, so this should be a vascular part for that. Okay, so this should be. See, I've got me spikes. More spikes. Look at that. Oh, look at that. That's red sand. Ooh. So if that is a blood vessel, when we've got red sand there, that'll be iron runoff from the blood. Yeah, look how red that is. Wow, I've not found sand that red. Oh, this interesting. Cool. Yeah, that is proper red. Wow. Yeah, I've not found that before. Not like that. Wow. And that's in what I would call a blood vessel. So I think I'm right. These thinner stripy pipes with channels on are blood vessels. Oh, fuck me. Okay. Now this is where my idea of a foot just goes out the window, or the foot's like 10 times bigger than I could ever even comprehend. It was big enough as it was, but his toes do seem to be about 3-4 foot across, and I suppose, so if that's the inner part of that toe, it's 4 foot from this side to that side, so I've got about 3 to 4 foot that side. Shit. Which would put the next one about where I'm looking here. Ooh, decisions. What side do I go on? Ooh. But yeah, anyway. So I'm probably completely off what I was talking about a minute ago. Can't remember what I was chatting about. But I've contacted a couple of people in the old hidden history side of things. I had done previously, but I won't say who, and heard nothing back basically. But I have heard stuff back this week. I've contacted Roger from Mud Fossils, Mud Fossil University. Nice guy, really nice guy. and basically his response was, oh yeah, it's definitely something biological, and he's been sort of on this for years and years, and he's got a lot of degrees in a lot of things, and yeah, he's had a lot of trouble getting any sort of confirmation on anything over the years. He's sent DNA samples off, CAT scans, all sorts, but they just won't have none of it, because obviously it don't fit in with the narrative. So yeah, it's just kind of one of those things. I think I'm on my own with this. It's me and whoever has come along for the journey. As I've noticed, I've started to pick up a few extra people watching, which is really nice. Thank you very much. Do appreciate your time. And I hope I don't bore the socks off you. I wouldn't be surprised if I do. Alright, what we got here? We've got a big chunky bit there. Okay, it looks like I'm excavating half a cliffside again. There's some more of that red. There's a lot of this red over this side. Oh, I hope I find like the injury that killed it. Like, I find a nice broadsword. That'd be nice. What's that? Yeah, so I've dug into quite a few bits over the week. So some stuff that I'd actually looked at previously, but didn't really sort of take much account to it. Cause I used to be quite into solar science and the electric universe, and basically I was trying to prove climate change wasn't man-made to myself. I didn't need to prove it to anyone else. But yeah, obviously you get to a point with that where you realise that it's, you know, everything's driven by the sun. It's an electric sun. We've got a magnetosphere collapsing at the moment. We got fucking poles are moving, but I don't want to go down the doom and gloom route there. But yeah, obviously, and then once you go from there, you start finding about the cycles of the planet and how things like basically they completely implode on themselves. This destroyed by it's fire, then water, then fire, then water. And when I was looking into all of that stuff, obviously you come across the deluge, which is the Noah's flood, and yeah, I didn't really go much from that. I actually thought that was due to a pole flip, and basically everything, I thought the planet flips upside down basically. So it just moves everything, moves all the jet streams and stuff. I mean, we're going through exactly the same thing at the moment, where the north and south poles are moving, magnetosphere is weakening, the jet streams are moving, so waterways start moving around, and obviously there's a lot of geoengineering going on as well, piggybacking off of the back of it. But anywho, yeah, so I've never really looked much further than that. I just knew about the cycle. I sort of knew the timings and everything. And then I was through other like conspiracy research, you start coming across things like the Phoenix event and the simulacrum and all that, which is that's if you want to look at that, go look at a guy called Archaics. Very, very knowledgeable, very smart, very, very well read, to a degree that I haven't even come across before, to be quite honest. But yeah, but discounting all that, I'd never really heard of a thing called the vapor canopy until a couple of years back, which is a theory that was actually floating around, oh god, 150 years ago. And it's actually in historical records by the looks of it. So effectively what happens is the planet goes through a volcanic cycle, and obviously hot heat going up into the upper atmosphere, it cools off, and so you end up with like basically a massive set of clouds up there, filled with you know, gases and what do you call it, like precious metals and chemicals that you get from volcanoes, because they're the life force of the planet. They're just the blood of the planet, and so eventually those vapor canopies, they sort of get to a point where they have to drop everything. It's the same as a rain cloud, a massive rain cloud, and then it drops, and so you get one cycle of fire, one cycle of water, and destruction. So it is, you know, it's a time cycle. But yeah, that seems to be responsible for a lot of these what we call mud fossils, which is what I think I'm dealing with here. And the cycle is a lot shorter than you would think. There's a smaller cycle and then there's a larger cycle, much like a clock. So if you think of a clock or a calendar, you know, you've got months, you've got weeks, or you've got hours, or you've got a day, sort of thing. So so you've got a smaller cycle and a larger cycle, and so you get like smaller events happening in localized areas. And it looks to me that happened in England. Don't know. I wouldn't like to say, to be quite honest. I'm not too sure on the dates on that, but possibly what we call the Dark Ages. So that might possibly tie in with this bloody thing. I just don't know. I've probably gone off on 1,000,001 tangents there because I was busy digging, but hey, that's me, that's what I do. Got lots of bits of information in me and I go off on tangents a lot. But like I say, it's me. So right, I'm going to chuck you down for a minute while I have a bit of a dig around, because it looks like I've got something going on here. So fingers crossed I find something interesting. So, not having a great time here, not really finding very much at the moment, but to be quite honest, thinking I'm going to find every time I come up here is a bit naive, and so I need to get that out of my head. Found lots of big lumps. These are all big lumps that I found in there, but I have found this, which was running horizontally that way. So it was running across from the foot at a lower level here, which I think is actually a cast piece of iron, because you've got a ridiculously straight edge there, and that's stupidly straight, and then you've got, I don't know, it looks more like a seam line on the middle of it, but you've got the wavy pattern there. It could just be one of the arteries or whatever they are that's just severed off, but I don't know, it just feels man-made, this piece here. And as I say, it was running in a different direction to what it should be. I'll check back in shortly. Hopefully I would have found something a bit more. As you can see, I've sort of devastated the other side of this hillside here. I have found obviously more spiky patterns here and more pipe work. I'm sorry, I'm not really getting excited about them anymore. It's just like I can find them quite easily, so it's become, you know, when you've got too much of something, it's suddenly not very special anymore. That's happened, and it shouldn't have happened, because everything that I'm finding here is so special. But yeah, okay, right, cool. I'm going to dig in a bit more, see what I can find. Hopefully we'll get something out today that's of interest. If not, it's just going to be a couple of quite boring videos of me nattering, I would say. Oh, hang on. Yeah, like I say, this is like so decomposed in there. and the colour of the sand is just so different. It's very orange and red. Yeah, no, it's just pulling lumps of it out, and then it disintegrates. Right, cool. Be back soon. Tell you what I have just found. What looks to be a very, very old iron cut nail. I don't know how old that would be. But yeah, it's just, I would say that's a cut nail, definitely. Bit of like debris all over it, but wow, now that's interesting. I wonder how old that is. Don't know. Just trying to think from Oak Island. This is where I learn things like that. Iron cut nails, maybe 1500s, maybe a little bit older. Now that is an interesting point. I'll keep hold of that one. That one's going with me. That's cool. That is cool. Cool. Right.